So looking ahead, what are the biggest opportunities for Piemonte wines right now in terms of let's talk about American market?
I think the biggest opportunity is to teach and grow the culture and conviviality of wine and how the diversity of grapes just within this one region, just like the rest of Italy, but specifically in Piemonte, they have so many different wines that there's a moment and a wine for every specific occasion, and explaining that to the consumer, I think, is where the success will lie.
As the official media partner, the Italian Wine Podcast is excited to present exclusive coverage from Grandi Langhe e il Piemonte del Vino 2025. This special series features first-hand perspective from top producer and buyers as they navigate new style, vineyard innovations, and shifting global markets. Discover expert takes, hidden gems, and the trends shaping the region's future. Tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. or visit italianwinepodcast.com for more.
Hello, my name's CV Kim and welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast special edition here at Grandi Langhe 2025, where we get to chat up some wine friends. And what a fine wine friend you are, Jeff Porter.
Thank you, Stevie
buddy.
Kim.
How are you?
I'm very well. It's good to see you.
And it's crazy because he's a New Yorker, actually a Texan, ex-New Yorker, and now Torinese.
Forza Toro. Sorry, my Juve friends.
Yeah. Actually, the president of the region was here just before you. I interviewed him, and he's a Juventino.
Well, we can't all be perfect.
Exactly. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. This event, it's amazing. It's in this super cool building that used to be where Train Italia used to fix their trains, and now it's this
crazy, right?
really cool commercial space that's used for events. I really love this building. I love
this building. The only thing I actually told the president, I wish there was some natural light.
Agreed.
Because especially for a wine event, it's like, I don't know if it's date night or, whatever outside.
Right. It's kind of like Vegas. So this is a Vegas of the wine, but we're all winners here. That's the best thing. The house is not winning. The tasters are.
Yeah. So how has it been living in Torino? First of all, you live not too far away,
I live not very far away. I live on the other side of the Po. Living in Torino is amazing. This is a beautiful city. What I like about it, the city doesn't have a lot of tourism, or a lot of, I guess, American tourism. So there's a lot of Italians that come here, a lot of people from Germany and Switzerland. So my day-to-day outside my house is in Italian, so it's helping me grow my ability to speak.
Italiano?
Piano piano, ma io imparare oggi per oggi.
Okay. Yeah, you need some work there. All right, Jeff. So what have you been doing in Torino? Like you're going about tasting the wines for wine enthusiasts.
So for wine enthusiasts, I taste with the various consortii of Northern Italy, of the regions that I represent. So like last year at this time, the consortii of Barolo and Barbaresco put together tasting of the 20 vintage, and I'll be doing the same in like 2 or 3 weeks.
So Piemonte is your area for wine enthusiasts?
Piemonte is my area. So I've done tastings with Gavi, with Alto Piemonte, with Nizza, with Monferrato Barbera, all the major groups. And then on the other side, I also go visit and I give tours to clients from back in the state. I set up like gastronomic or winery tours.
Okay, in Piemonte.
In Piemonte.
Okay, all right. So we have a super specialist of Piemonte sitting right next to us. So we'll ask him some questions. Question number one.
Number one.
Which new or emerging Piemonte wine styles have caught your eye recently?
I think the thing that's happening across the board, not just with, let's say, Barolo or Barbaresco, is more people using whole cluster fermentation. So kind of that semi-carbonic. You're seeing it in Laghi Nebbiolos, you're seeing it in Dolcetto and Barbera, and it's producing this, if done correctly, and it's in an experimental phase right now, so not everybody's doing it perfectly, but when done really, really well, it just can really lift the wine, specifically in like a vintage like 23. So if you have like Langhe Nebbiolo 23, it was really hot and dry. So a little added whole cluster can like lift the wine and give it a brighter pop, which I really like. It increases the drinkability.
Wow. And this is a trend?
Absolutely. We're seeing it a lot across the whole region of people who are making red wine.
Wow. Okay. Any other specific trends or vineyard management technique?
I mean, I think the coolest thing that we're seeing, even in a vintage that was as challenging as 2024 this year.
Because it was challenging.
It rained a lot.
Yeah.
But the vineyard work. What people are like, the attention to detail in the vineyard. The biggest change, I think, over the past 20 years is 25 years ago, the thought was wine was made in the cellar. And today, the wine is definitely made in the vineyard.
That's very interesting.
And it's a big change, and you can taste it in the wines. Tannin management is supreme now. But like with 24, people like don't think there's good and bad vintages. All vintages are unique within their own right. There are great wines that are going to be made in 2024. People that paid attention and worked super, super hard. And when you saw them after harvest, they were so tired and so exhausted because the amount of time they were just like hustling to get grapes in. The wines are going to really be beautiful. So I think the trend is just the true attention to detail and less chemical intervention is across the board in the region.
Wow. Okay. Very exciting. Very insightful there. And I mean, are you going back and forth now stateside?
Yeah, I go back every like 10 weeks.
So what are, your colleagues, from stateside, like buyers or the consumers that your colleagues are working with? What are they currently looking for in terms of Piemonte wines?
I think they're gravitating first to freshness and drinkability. And it doesn't mean it has to be, it's interesting because I'll be with some people and we'll be tasting a wine. And let's say it's from 22 or 23, like the warmer vintages. And those are like the Barberas or the Grignolinos or the Ruque, Fresa or Langhe Nebbiolo. And they'll still be 13.5, 14% alcohol. And they'll be like, wow, this is so fresh. I didn't realize it was still high in alcohol. And that's just kind of where the alcohol levels are today. But through proper vineyard management and some techniques in the winery, the wines are fresh and they're fun and they're fruity and drinkability is paramount.
So despite the higher alcohol level, if you will, on the palate, the taste is still fresh.
Fruit forward and zippy and fun.
Zippy, I like it. Zippy wines. And what producers or labels surprised you the most recently?
I mean, I was taking some colleagues who came in from LA recently. We went to a producer named Ghedo. Ghe umlaut DDO.
Yeah.
Young grower.
It sounds Swedish more than Piemontese.
It's a Piedmontese phrase. I forgot what the name means, but it's a word in Piemontese.
Oh, okay. It's a dialect.
But and then another producer, Verzio, really, really excited about. I love Ingavi Laraia. They've been established for a while, but the son has really taken over the past few years. And Gavi's not a wine I think a lot of fancy pants sommeliers were talking about, but I'm here to tell y'all, delicious, great value, and they can age like no one's
How long can
business.
It age?
I had some 20, 25 years old that blew my mind.
Oh my gosh.
And there's value there. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. Very good. And have you encountered, I mean, you know everything, but anything unexpected, great varieties or, I don't know, like up-and-coming terroirs?
I mean,
here at Grandi Langhe.
Gavi really surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Grignolino is, I think, one of the most fun grapes.
Grignolino.
And
it's also fun to say.
It is. It is fun to say. And it's just delicious. I think the thing that I'm most excited about Piedmont is the switch in everyone's minds. This goes for the top wines as for just like the introductory wines. They can be drunk now and they can be drunk later. Mm-hmm. It's a wine for whatever moment, whatever feeling you have. It's not good or bad, it's just different when things age. And I think that mentality, coming back to just experiencing the wine as it is, I think is a really cool perspective seen from the producers.
So looking ahead, what are the biggest opportunities for Piemonte wines right now in terms of let's talk about American market?
I think the biggest opportunity is to teach and grow the culture and conviviality of wine, and how the diversity of grapes just within this one region, just like the rest of Italy, but specifically in Piemonte, they have so many different wines that there's a moment and a wine for every specific occasion, and explaining that to the consumer, I think, is where the success will lie.
Okay. And here, I mean, of course, you moved to Torino, you're very partial to Piemonte, but even here, like at an event like this, I mean, there are 500 producers. Is it helpful to meet up with them face-to-face, even to try some wines? Or even moreover, your colleagues? Do they in any ways, meeting your colleagues or friends from all over the world, do they in any way influence your perceptions?
My friends?
Yes.
Absolutely. Tasting, because I'm like in a silo, right? I live here. This is the wine that I drink most often. And so it's cool when they come and they ask questions that either escaped my mind because I live it. And when you're face to face with the producers and you're able to have that interaction, it's invaluable for knowledge growth and knowledge sharing across the board.
And lastly, how many wines have you tasted here?
I don't know, a lot.
Right.
My mouth hurt yesterday.
Yeah. Not just your feet.
No, my feet hurt because I walked a lot, and my mouth hurt because I tasted so many wines. I don't know, maybe yesterday was in the 150 plus range.
And what are the main takeaways, like, which you would love to share with your folks back at home?
I mean, for Barolo, 21 vintage, as you've probably read, is a phenomenal vintage. It's interesting, I was talking to a producer yesterday, this goes back to it.
Yeah.
It has the stuffing of 19, but the elegance of like 8. And I guess that's getting really deep into like just the fact that I taste a lot of these wines. But the other thing is just seeing the variety. I like having the producers from Gavi and Monferrato and Nizza, and just being able to go back and forth with, like, let's say an Erbaluce from Alto Piemonte, and then going to an Alta Langhe in between the Nebbiolos. It's like a smorgasbord in a Disneyland for wine right now.
Okay, so bonus question, because you've been living here for how long now?
A year. Exactly.
A year, okay. So what is your favorite? I mean, I actually don't really believe in food and wine pairing, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm not, it's fine. But what is your favorite food and wine pairing for Piemonte, local dish and wine?
All right, my favorite?
Yeah, favorite of all time.
Okay, all time. I love agnolotti di plin in a reduced sugo with an aged Nebbiolo. That's perfection.
Yeah, perfection to life. Okay, what are we doing at Vinitaly?
We are going to talk about
I don't mean to put you on the
delicious. I think I pitched, my idea was like fun, delicious, in the moment wine. You can take wine seriously, and you should, but at the end of the day, it's about joy. And it's combining those two things together, the joyousness of being serious.
Okay, so
About drinking.
Yes, fun and joyful, delicious wines. This will be the masterclass conducted by Jeff Porter at Vinitaly. So see you all at Vinitaly.
See you all there.
And that is a wrap.
Grazie. Thank you very much.
Grazie mille.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.